Most people will tell you AI is going to take all the jobs. These are three jobs that will never go away. All right, so check this out. You guys know I love stats, right? So I was looking at this study by PwC, that's Price Waterhouse Cooper, and they said that if you can learn certain AI skills, it could actually increase your salary by 56%. Now, I don't know about you, but if I could get an extra 56% on what I already do, I'll take it all day now. So let's talk about the salary bump and then we'll talk about some of the skills that we're seeing. So the first thing is AI is replacing jobs, right? Because I know some of you guys are like, man, I saw your other video. You said it's taking jobs. It is going to take some jobs, right? What was really surprising in 2020 into 2024, beginning of 2025, is we saw a lot of blue collar jobs actually going away because of AI. And so that was what we anticipated. But when the white collar jobs in mid 2025 started going away, that's when it got a little weird to people because people have spent a lot of money to go to college. They've spent money on degrees and certifications. And all of a sudden, $100,000, 100,000 jobs get cut. And people are like, hold on now. This ain't what we said was going to happen, right? This is supposed to be a blue collar job problem. Well, it's becoming a white collar job problem. So let's talk about how AI is actually replacing jobs. So a lot of automation is happening with AI. And think about it this way. If you had a business and you had to pay an employee, let's say you had to pay them $50,000. Well, actually, you don't pay them $50,000 because you have to pay for 401k, you have to pay for their dental, health insurance, all those other things. So in reality, you're paying about $75,000 to $80,000 for a person. Now, you and I know people can get on your nerves, right? So sometimes people don't show up for work. Sometimes they say they were really good at something in the interview, and then you realize they don't know what the hell they're doing. So those are the things that you have to deal with if you're a business owner when it comes to deciding whether or not you want to stick with a person or if you want to stick with AI. Do you want to stick with a human or do you want to have an automated computer that can do most of the things that this person was doing for you? AI doesn't need a smoke break. It doesn't need to take a vacation. It can run literally 24/7 depending on what kind of AI it is. So there are some half truths to it being able to take some low skilled jobs, but it's these high level jobs that we're really talking about today. All right. So let's talk about the first job. So you've heard me talk about prompt engineering probably for 2.5, 3 years. When I was doing my doctorate, I was studying AI. And that was one of the biggest things that they were pushing. Learn how to prompt AI so you can get from it what you actually need, right? And so now it's turned into a whole ecosystem, if you will, within companies. So prompt engineering allows you to learn how to talk to AI so you can get from it what you want. So let's look at the figures here. So it says the average prompt engineer is making around 122,000 per year. Now, let's say you don't have the time outside of your job to actually do that, right? Well, this is some of the freelancing charges that they're seeing out there as well. So $50 to $200 an hour is what a freelancer is earning when it comes to AI. Now, let me tell you this. You can learn prompt engineering in probably about 3 to 4 months. Now, you're going to have to cut the TV off. You're going to have to stop playing video games, but the information is actually there. Now, I'm not going to put any prompt. I'm not going to say any companies because I don't get paid by those companies. Do a Google search. You can find several companies out there. For little of nothing, you can actually learn how to prompt engineer. So that's the first one that I wanted to kick out for you. By the way, if you start freelancing, you can go to companies like Fiverr or Upwork. You can pull in an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, $500 to $1,000 a month. Now, this goes back to what I talk about with investing, right? A lot of times we look at our budget, we don't necessarily see the dollars available for us to invest. Well, I've been talking about it all year. Find a side hustle, find something else that you can do to bring in some extra dollars. Here it is. I'm not just throwing it out there. I'm giving you practical advice on how to go find the money. So now you can become an investor and start to put some of that money away. All right. So second, a data analysis with AI. So this is someone who can analyze data, but they can also use AI to do it. So what does this person look like? Well, this person can use Excel, Chat GPT, and Python all together, making them irreplaceable, guys. This becomes the go-to person in the company to get data quickly and get the answers that we need in order to help our clients and our customers a lot faster. So the data analysts, now this is a little different, right? You will probably need to go and get a certification. And it's crazy, when I was thinking about this, there was a time where a degree was the end all be all. Everybody would tell you, get out of school, go get a degree, you can get the job you want, you can write your own paycheck. Then there was a shift. I worked in IT. So there was a shift in IT where they said, you don't need a degree. All you need is these certifications and the work experience to actually be able to do it. So we've ebbed and flowed and going back and forth between those two levels of belief, right? But we're in a point now where, yes, a degree is going to be important, but most people that have a degree aren't using the degree in the way that they intended to use it. All a degree really does for you shows people that this person can stick with something. All right. I know countless people that have degrees in astrology and accounting and mathematics, and they do something totally different now. So that degree just essentially means that, yes, I can stick to something, where the certifications are a little drilled down. So that's showing, yes, I have expertise in certain lanes. And so that's where we're getting back to now. So that's why I think this one is a good one for you guys to start looking at, telling the young people in your lives about it so that they can actually go into those career fields. And then lastly, becoming a AI translator. All right. So who is an AI translator? It's someone who understands both business and AI and can help companies bridge the gap. I was speaking at an event not too long ago. It was a group of business owners. And I said, raise your hand if you're using AI for your business. And pretty much 90% of the people raised their hand in the room. So I'm like, oh, well, explain to me how you're using AI for your business. And so person after person was telling me about how they go on Chat GPT and ask it questions and do all these kind of things. That's a little different from the actual question that I had in my mind when I was asking it. So my real question when I followed up with him was, how is your business implementing AI to help your clients? Because that's a little different, right? We're not talking about just going in and prompt engineering. We're actually talking about building out something for your company through AI so you can use it to help your clients. So when I asked that question, it was literally only one person in a room of business owners raising their hand. Now, most of these were minority business owners. And so I started schooling them to the best of my ability, right? Because this is all still brand new to all of us. So my deal is, hey, I go and get as much information as I can, and then I can bring it to the community, right? So don't get me wrong when I say schooling them, I'm just talking about telling them what I could. But I started explaining to them, no, you have to actually learn the other side. So many times in our community, we end up being the consumers of new products, new services, new technologies, but we don't know how they actually work. And so that's why I'm imploring you all, start looking at this right now. I was looking at another stat where it was talking about the number of jobs that could potentially go away in 2026. Well, if those jobs go away, that means you have to build out some kind of company because you're not just going to not eat, right? So if the company lays you off, what do? You go out and build something or you go find another job. A lot of the jobs out there have some kicker on them, some additional ask that you have some AI skills. So yes, AI is going to take a ton of jobs away, but these are some of the jobs that I don't think will ever go away. Now, once you start making that extra money, come holler at us at QP. We got the blueprint to help you build that wealth and create generational wealth for you and your families. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll see you on the next episode. Think and Grow Rich.